My Hermes journey in Paris part 2. In the first video, which is linked below, I was telling you guys a story of how I got my dream mini Kelly at the Paris flagship boutique. If you don't know who I am, my name is Tanya and I invest in luxury fashion, timeless pieces, and I'm a lover of Hermes. Subscribe for more Hermes content. So in the first video, I was telling you guys a story of how I got my dream mini Kelly bag against all odds without an appointment at the flagship store in Paris, FSH on Saint-Honoré. I was in Paris for 10 days, or actually maybe it was even 2 weeks. I was playing in the appointment every single day. For both me and my husband, I did not get the appointment, but basically when we went to Paris, we made our trip that way that we were in 3 different hotels. So the first part of the trip, we stayed at the Mandarin Oriental on the side of the Louvre. Excuse my French because it's non-existent, literally. Actually, the hotel, we stayed at the Mandarin. It was on Saint-Honoré Street, very central to shopping, and I knew that I told my husband that if I'm in Paris, I need to go shopping like the very next day, so we get it out of the way, and then we can go sightseeing because, you know, I had like a list of things that I wanted to buy. So that's why we stayed at the Mandarin Oriental. Then we had the most epic trip, which, by the way, let me know in the comments if you want me to talk more about that, because it was definitely a once in a lifetime experience. We stayed at the Chateau Airelles in the Versailles. It's basically a building that is in the Versailles Palace. It's a super nice hotel. It's a new hotel. It's Marie Antoinette style rooms. They're so cute, so unique. Let me tell you why. Because the hotel is located on the palace grounds, so you're living at the Versailles. They have tour guides that take you on the private tour of the Versailles Palace, the tour of the garden on a golf cart. You can do it yourself, you can do it with a guide, and also like the experiences that they have, it's basically like an immersion experience into the French culture of Louis XVI, and then you go see like their beautiful palaces around the Versailles, Petit Trianon, the Grand Trianon. Excuse my pronunciation again, please, it's really bad, I know. So it was a one-in-a-lifetime experience. We decided to split our trip that way. So we first go to Mandarin Oriental and then we go stay at that hotel, Airelles. I think it's called Airelles Le Grand Controle. And then when we came back to Paris for I think like 5 more nights or something like that, we stayed at Lutetia, which is across the river, you know, where the Eiffel Tower is. I mean, it's not close to Eiffel Tower, but it's on the same side. The Hermes store, Sevres, is at the Lutetia Hotel. So I was like, well, of course we're gonna try again, right? You know me, Hermes game. We were literally living at a building where Hermes was. So I'm like, of course, we're gonna try again. And I really wanted to score a Birkin 30 in gold. This bag, I have it now, but I didn't have it then, and I was like dreaming about this bag. I was like, okay, I really want to buy it, and at European prices. Like, this bag was so much less expensive in Paris than it's in the US, like almost half the price. The prices in the, I'm talking about the prices in the previous video of the mini Kelly. So I wanted to try again, and I went in the morning. I think it was like a random, I don't know, Tuesday morning. Right after breakfast, as soon as the store opened, we went. We went to the bag department, and it was a lot less crowded than FSH, but it was also like a lot more guarded. It was a very different vibe than FSH. Like, it was not as crowded, but it was also like not as friendly, even though at FSH everybody's like screaming around you, like everybody's asking for bags, but the atmosphere is a little bit friendlier than it is at Sevres. Like, I felt like everybody was super cold, like super cold. People don't come to greet you. It's like everybody's very much like on guard. I don't know how else to explain the atmosphere at Sevres. Like, it's just so different. And they have this like really cool, like, you go, because the bag section is downstairs, so you go and there's also, I think it's ready to wear, and they have a restaurant, by the way. They have like an Hermes cafe, which was empty every single time we went there. It's a very nice store, but the vibes of the place were just not right, if you know what I mean. They were very like just cold, and you're left on your own there. It's not the typical Hermes experience. I mean, yeah, sure, some stores are colder, but I don't think I have ever been to an Hermes store that was colder in terms of the, you know, the attitude to customers than Sevrez. It was a very cool store. So we get there, we ask for cancellations, they don't even look at us, they're like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, I was prepared for that. So then I really wanted to get my in, you know, with the handbags. I was wearing this bag, of course I was wearing my mini Kelly, and I also looked really good. So I was like, yeah, I am looking for a strap. And you know, this like piece of leather in Hermes is very expensive. It's like over 1,000 euros as everything, right? So I'm like, I'm looking for a strap. And then she's like, okay, I will see if I have someone available to help you. We wait for maybe 15 or 20 minutes in the bag department. They have like a few chairs there. So we wait, and then an amazing sales associate comes out. Honestly, like on a contrast of like being so cold, this person comes out. It was a he, and I just immediately clicked with him. He was amazing. I think that he was not like just a sales associate. I think he was maybe some sort of manager or some sort of visual merchandiser, because I think that he was in charge of making the store look better, like coordinating all the colors. So him and I clicked. He told me so much about colors, about Hermes colors, the existing colors, the colors that are coming out. Like I knew the colors that were coming out before like First Bob reported them. I mean, obviously I didn't see the color, he like didn't show me anything, but we were just like talking and we clicked, and we were just like discussing all the Hermes colors. Yeah, and I was like telling him the colors that I really wanted, the colors that I liked, or like the colors that I didn't love, and he was telling me like what's coming. I don't know if that's like allowed or not, but we were just having such a great time. It was such an amazing conversation. He really appreciated my bag, you know, like I was very open with him. He was just like such a nice person. He might be the nicest Hermes sales associate that I have met. I'm going to tell you a bit later about this relationship, but it just like feeling wise, I really clicked with him. So I was asking him for a bag, and he was like, not possible today, but come on Friday. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I come on Friday, and he was not working on the floor. Like all the times that I have come to Sevrez afterwards, you can't see, he's not a sales associate, so I don't know exactly what he does. But we were talking, and on Friday we were leaving on Saturday. So on Friday, I came on Friday, and I came late. It was my mistake. I came at around 3 or 4 because the hotel Lotetia, which by the way, I do not recommend that hotel. It's a 5-star hotel. It's very expensive. We booked one kind of room. They put us in a tiny room, which like super tiny. We paid for like a higher grade room, and that room smelled so much like perfume, but so much so that it was impossible to be in the room. I think that what happened was somebody, like a previous guest, or I don't know, housekeeping, whatever, spilled like a perfume, like, you know, they have in the nice hotels, they have diffusers. So I think somebody spilled that, and it was just so strong. I could not be in that room. So I went to complain, and they're like, or I not even complain, I was like, can you please change us the rooms? And they're like, no. And I'm like, what do you mean no? Like, send somebody there. And they're like, yes, we're going to open the window and do a cleaning. So we go for dinner or something. We left the room the first night that we checked into Lotetia. They're basically saying that they're going to like do a deep clean. We come back, it's the same thing, and they refuse to change. So I went and I was like, look, I am leaving, not tonight, because it was like when we came back after dinner, it was like maybe midnight, and I like honestly like I can't really like look for a new hotel. So I was like, we're gonna go like tomorrow morning if you like don't change us the rooms, because I cannot sleep, literally. And with my nose later, I found where that spill was. It was on this like, you know, so close to the bed. It was just, and the fact that they were like denying it, I'm like, just give me a different room. So, and then they were like, they gave us a room, a bigger room, a room with a bathtub. I went to see into like, you know, the reservation, and I actually found that we originally paid for that room that they gave us reluctant. And also just like overall, Lutetia's service was pretty bad. I definitely don't recommend that hotel. It was the worst hotel that we have stayed at. I mean, Mandarin was just like so, but I mean that one was just not a good hotel, not something that I would recommend really. Yes, so going back to Sevres, Lutetia also messed up our Louvre reservation. So let's say on Thursday we were supposed to have a private guide organized by the hotel, greet us in the lobby at 9 a.m. and then we had a private tour guide for the Museum of Louvre. They messed up the reservation and they didn't book it, or I don't know what happened, they didn't confirm it, which I felt really bad because I actually gave like some money and tip to the concierge for like helping us book it, and then they actually didn't book it, so they felt really bad. And then on Friday they made the appointment for Friday, even though Friday was supposed to be a free day. We were supposed to go to Hermes in the morning, but to me at that point, like, you know, sightseeing in Paris was more important than like seeing the museum was more important. So we came to Sevres at around 3 or 4 p.m. and guess what? No bags. I also could not find the person that I was speaking with, so I just like pulled in one person from, I think it was like is either ready to wear shoes, and I'm like, hey, I'm looking for so and so because I knew his name, and then he was like, yeah, let me text him. So the person that I saw a few days ago that told me to come on Friday is like, we don't have any more bags, but I can get you an appointment for Saturday. And we were already leaving, so I was like, honestly for a second it crossed my mind changing my flights to get an appointment, but yeah, I didn't. Overall, I was already so happy because I secured this amazing bag, so I was okay. Did I keep dreaming about the Birkin and gold on gold? Obviously. Did I pay double or close to double what I would have paid in Europe for that bag? I totally did, but it's Hermes, you know, it is what it is. We all know the game and the risks, but just wanted to talk about my Paris Hermes journey, and I actually have one more journey to share with you guys. It's going to be in the next video. It is the time that I was in Europe. It was a few months later, it was in September of last year, and I was playing the lottery because, you know, your girl here is no quitter. So I was playing the lottery, I got an appointment, and I'm going to talk about the third and final store, George Sink, George 5, whatever, George V, however you want to call it. It's the third and final store in Paris that I have not been to, and I was given an appointment there, and I went for that appointment. I took a freaking flight and I went for that appointment. If you want to know this experience, which I am so open, I'm like an open book, please learn from my experience. I really hope that whatever I'm saying here really helps your journey. I think you definitely should see the final video of the Hermes Paris saga. Subscribe, follow me on Instagram because I give great advice there. Feel free to DM me there or comment any tips or any experiences that you had in Paris with Hermes. That would mean a lot. Anyways, love you all. My name is Tanya again.